I call Poto Williams.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Yes, I agree. It's a good choice. Thank you for the opportunity to make a short call. I hope I can make a valuable contribution on the committee stage of this particular bill. As many of you know, I'm very concerned about ensuring that we do what we can, as is our responsibility to ensure the protection of our children. And I believe that this legislation makes a serious attempt to deal with the issue of objectionable material and publications. I do have a couple of opening comments I want to make, Mr Chair, particularly with regards to this legislation perhaps making the best of what it can, but in terms of good legislation and good laws to protect children, we could have possibly taken a much broader approach, looked more fully at lots of different aspects around issues of child protection, and rather than making fixes to legislation as they come along. But with specific reference to Part 1 and Clause 4, with your indulgence, I did look up some references to the term objectionable, because I think that's obviously it's key to this piece of legislation. What is objectionable? And I had a look at a previous Act, the Films, Videos and Publications Classifications Act, if you'll just bear with me. And objectionable, a publication is objectionable if it describes, depicts, expresses or otherwise deals with matters such as sex, horror, crime, cruelty or violence in a manner that is the availability of the publication is likely to be injurious to the public good. Included in that definition, Mr Chairman, is of course the issue of violence, and many of you will know that you just have to switch on your televisions, download a movie, click onto, actually just have a look through some Facebook feeds sometimes, Mr Chair, to realise that what may have been objectionable at the time when we started defining that in terms of publications, certainly it's a different space today, and that we're exposed to things that we would not want our children exposed to, but that were not even thought of as being accessible in the days when we were defining, particularly in that Act that I referred to, 1993. We were not even considering the availability of that material in everyday use, on every device that we have, in every situation of our lives. So just in terms of Clause 4, Mr Chairman, the knowledge relating to objectionable material and the offence, and in terms of the increase to the penalties, the maximum term is moving to 14 years for the actual manufacture or the provision of that material. And I know that this was brought up with other submissions by other speakers on the topic, but it does seem that the actual manufacture of these publications, the presentation of these publications, is penalised at a term that is actually out of step with the penalty for the abuse that occurs in the manufacture of these publications. And I, for one, would like to encourage the Minister to perhaps make reference to that and perhaps answer why that is, and if there are going to be steps to actually align that more consistently. Mr Chair, I also want to refer to an issue that was brought up with regards to just in terms of what happens around the ability to rehabilitate people who have been charged with these offences, and that potentially the length of term does not guarantee that they will actually be able to access the type of rehabilitation services that they need for their care. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I call Jacinda Ardern.